that concludes to us yung fulfillment of the prophecy. Matutupad yung prophecy. Siguro dito, hindi lamang basta mga Kristiyano. Talagang they have been studying this. Perhaps yung mga nauna sa kanilang mga scholar, meron silang mga libro or mga layout tungkol dito, and they are studying it well. No? Ang sabi dito, there have been reports that a detailed model of the temple has been traveling throughout the U.S. to raise money for the project. That would make sense for almost 50% of the world. Jewish people lives in America, and doubtless the richest Jews in the world reside in this country. American Jews have a long history of providing generous donation to the needs and causes of fellow Jews, particularly those in Israel. Sino sa inyo rito nakakaalam na mayayaman yung mga Hudyo? Alam niya? Sino sa inyo nakakaalam na marami sa mga malalaking kumpanya sa Amerika are owned by the Jewish people? American Jewish. Sabihin natin sa mga manufacturing companies, Jews, number one. Mga banks, mga Jewish ang mga may-ari. Kung sa tourism, music industry, yung lahat ng mga businesses in America and some other part of the world are owned by the Jewish, American, or Jewish people. Do you know that Coca-Cola is owned by Jewish people? Alam niyo yun? We know when we were in Saudi Arabia, there is no Coca-Cola. Hindi allowed because they know that the owner is Jews or Israeli. Hindi po pwede. But now I think they nakapasok na. I don't know how they did that. Di ko alam ano yung agreement nila. But now there is Coca-Cola. Everywhere you go, you will find Coca-Cola in the world. Owned by the Jews. Sabi nga ni Dr. Vance, pag darating siya nung end of April dito, magbibigyan ng exam sa mga nag-aaral ng exhorter. Nung sila ay graduate sila ng Lee University. Lee University is Church of God. Eskwelahan. Pati ng asawa niya, doon siya graduate. Nag-mission sila sa Pilipinas, doon sa bandang, I think, Iloilo. Nasa remote areas, they were assigned in the remote areas. Hindi raw sila nakatulog ng gabi kasi ang daming lamok. They were not used of the kulambo. Ang haba niya, taas niya. Siyempre, kung yung mga bed natin, yung kawayan lang, baka mga 5.5 feet lang, sila 6-footer mag-asawa. Hindi kasa, pati sa kulambo na ano. Pero sabi niya, magtataka ka. Nung kumain na kami, pinakain kami ng mga local foods nila. In the end, merong Coca-Cola. Imagine, sabi niya, nasa remote area ka. Halos walang tubig, walang makain yung mga tao doon. Pero in the end, they give us Coca-Cola. Baka pagpunta niya rito, sasabihin din niya yun. Pag nag-preach siya. It is, maraming property itong mga mayaman talaga. They control the business industry in America. Of course, they are American, but they are Jewish American. Makita natin. Article 1. Article 1 ang sabi niya, one of the most active individuals gathering materials for the Tribulation Temple has been Gershom Solomon. Ito ay isa sa mga Israeli na known siya in history, na he's been a part of the government sa politics siya, marami siyang involvement. No? Sabi niya, there's some Solomon of the Temple Mount faithful who uses activist measures in an attempt to motivate fellow countrymen to rebuild the temple. Solomon's group has been given much American press, particularly about its tour of the United States to advance such project. During that tour, Solomon was a guest of Pat Robertson's 700 Club and was interviewed on many Christian radio stations throughout the country. Perhaps he was the one who can tell us or can tell people about what is going on or what would be what happening to the coming of the rebuilding of the third temple, no? Kaya imagine yung kanyang interview on many Christian radio station, it spread to many people, Christians and non-Christians people. Sabi nito, Solomon has also received some bad press in Israel and throughout the world for his effort to organize prayer meeting on the site of the first two temples. On one occasion, he even tried to lay a 4.5-ton cornerstone upon the Temple Mount, but he was stopped by the Israeli government. Officials know that the Middle East is a tinderbox or explosive place waiting for a spark to attack the nation into another war, and nothing would start it sooner and extend it longer than to desecrate this Muslim holy site. Imagine natin, no, looking that Dome of the Rock, which is called by the Muslim Al-Aqsa Mosque. Akala natin is a peaceful place. Sa picture, napakaganda, gold yung kanyang pinaka-dome niya doon sa taas. And outside that, doon sa picture na yon, people are in conflict. They are fighting. Paano nila i-build yung the third temple? Paano nila paalisin itong mga Muslim na ito doon sa lugar na yon? How can they find another place to build this third temple? Anong gagawin nila? Hindi naman basta-basta paalisin yun. In fact, yung Palestine, gusto nilang maging capital yung Jerusalem. Kasi nandun nga itong Al-Aqsa Mosque na ito. But hindi rin papayag yung mga Christian. Lalong hindi papayag na itong mga Jewish na kuhanin itong Jerusalem. Kasi, in fact, America considered that as like a capital. Kaya they moved their embassies from Tel Aviv to Jerusalem. Di ba? Now, ang sabi ng Article 2, researchers Thomas Ice and Timothy Demi in their pocketbook series, The Truth About the Last Days Temple, they wrote, many plans are being made for a rebuilt temple and many diverse groups in Israel are preparing for it. One of the group they mention is Solomon's Temple Mount Faithful. Solomon is quoted as saying, in the right day, I believe it is very soon, this stone will be put on the Temple Mount and be worked and polished and will be the first stone for the third temple. Just now, this stone lies not far from the Temple Mount, very close to the walls of the old city of Jerusalem, near the Shechem Gate, and this stone watches over the Temple Mount. But the day is not far that this stone will be in the right place. It can be today, it can be tomorrow, where we are close to the right time. So itong sinabi nito na Shechem gate na isa lamang sa gate ng Jerusalem Wall. Mayroon na tawag na, I think, David's Wall or Damascus Gate. Damascus Gate. Ito yung known dito sa mga gate na ito, no? Ang sabi dito sa third article, another group, Ice and Demi, site in the Temple Institute led by Israel area. This organization has made almost all the 102 utensils needed for the temple worship according to biblical and rabbinic standards. These are on display for tourists to see at the Temple Institute Tourist Center in the Old City in Jerusalem. If you happen to go to Jerusalem, kasama ito siguro sa dapat makita natin. No? The Ateret Kohanim has established a yeshiva or called religious school for the education and training of temple priests. This task is to research regulation, gather qualified Levites, and train them for a future priesthood. Many yeshivas have arisen throughout Jerusalem to prepare for the eventuality of a rebuilt, fully functional temple service. Clothing is being made, and some rabbis are deciding what modern innovations can be adapted into a new temple. Also, an effort is well underway to secure kosher animals for sacrifice, including red heifers, and some people continue to see daily prayer upon the Temple Mount to help prepare the way. Imagine from now, they are now preparing kosher animals to feed the people. Alam natin, yung mga Israelites, lahat ng pagkain nila is kosher. Kahit na pupunta ka sa McDonald's doon, kosher din yun. Walang kinakailangan, it is well prepared. Walang baboy. And the way they kill the animals is call it kosher. Preparation, lahat. Ganun. So, another, Ice and Demi concluded by saying many other preparations are currently underway for Israel's return to all aspects of temple worship. There is a little doubt that faithful Jews all over the world are preparing all the necessary materials so that they will be ready to begin construction at the first opportunity. It is doubtful they have already cut the yellow limestone rock for the temple, for it would be impossible to hide such a huge number of such stone in Israel. But who is to say that agents have not already prepared such stones in various parts of the world, ready to be shipped at a moment's notice? Alam natin that Israel is very well known and famous for different kinds of stone, limestone. And we were there once, and yung asawa ng Pilipino na Israeli, na friend natin, patay na siya ngayon. Dati pumupunta rito every year, dito nagbabakasyon. Pinasyal kami doon sa isang bundok. Pag pumasok ka doon, is all limestone na makikita mo. Different colors. And it's so beautiful na makikita mo yon. It's an experience na makita natin yung mga ganong klaseng lugar na full of alam ko sa Lebanon, yung mga nakarating ng Lebanon, meron din doon na lugar na pagpasok mo sa bundok na yon na makita mo ay puro iba't ibang klaseng stone din. Mga mamahaling stone. Magaganda. One of the ingredients necessary for reactivating the Old Testament style temple worship is the ashes of a red heifer or a young cow. early in 1997, the press of the Western world showed pictures of rare red young cow in Israel. There was an effort also made to breed such kind of animals. And I believe it is included in preparation for the kosher animals here. So, we would not be surprised to find that cloning experiments. Diba, may mga cloning na ngayon? We will not be surprised one day that the cloning experiments are currently being conducted for to have an operational temple. Workers would need several such kind of animals para ma-fulfill itong pag-cloning nila. And three possible scenarios for temple rebuilding. Scenario lang ito. It may happen or may not be happen. And this is a scenario shared to us by some scholars who believe that this will happen for the rebuilding of the third temple. Ang sabi sa number 1, the temple could be rebuilt sometime between Russia's attack in Israel and the beginning of the tribulation. Kasi there will be yung gap, perhaps days, months, maybe years, between the attack of Russia to Israel and the beginning of tribulation. That means after the rapture, yan, no? So sabi dito, precisely when Russia and her Muslim allies will attack Israel is not possible to determine. It could happen prior to God's last soul harvest, just before the rapture, or it could come after the rapture and before the tribulation. So in their scenario that they are sharing here, it may happen before the rapture, after the rapture, or beginning the tribulation, or before the tribulation. Keep in mind, there could be a period of days, several years, between the rapture and the beginning of the tribulation. Sabi ng Ezekiel 39:9, and they that dwell in the cities of Israel shall go forth, and shall set on fire and burn the weapons, both the shields and the bucklers, and the bows and the arrows, and the handstabs and the spears. And they shall burn them with fire 7 years. Nabanggit na natin ito in the past na pag-aaral natin. Can you imagine burning all their weapons? It will take 7 years to complete the burning. How many are they? Gaano kalaki? Is it, sabi kasi sa nabasa natin in the past, there are a lot of weapons. Maybe equivalent to one city or one small country, siguro ganun karami. And that is why it will take them 7 years to burn. Revelation 12:6, ang sabi niya, and the woman fled into the wilderness where she has a place prepared of God, that they should feed her there 1,260 days. And in 14, and to the woman were given 2 wings of a great eagle, that she might fly into the wilderness, into her place, where she is nourished for a time and times and a half a time from a face of the serpent. Dito, makikita natin yung one scenario of the rebuilding of the temple.